Welcome to my Halloween 2017 series. This is a series I'm going to try and do every Halloween where I review classic horror movies. Tonight's movie happens to be a movie I actually just saw for the first time, and I'm 23 years old. It's been on my list forever. It's considered one of, if not the greatest horror film of all time, The Shining. The Shining is, I guess, based on Stephen King's novel of the same name. I say I guess because even though the novel and the movie have the same exact premise, the movie differs so much from the novel, despite having the same premise as the book, that Stephen King, when he saw the movie, was pretty displeased with the adaptation, and didn't really like a thing that Stanley Kubrick did with this movie. What is The Shining about? The Shining is about Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson. He is a writer, and he is hired to be the caretaker in the off-season of the Overlook Hotel. His son also possesses psychic abilities. His son and his wife also go to this hotel. Eventually, Jack gets consumed by the supernatural forces inside the hotel that he begins to lose his sanity, and his son also begins to lose his sanity. And we have, I will say this, it's a super disturbing, creepy tale, yet very effective, probably as of right now, my favorite horror movie of all time. Now, older movies like this are sometimes hard for me to get into. This movie was made in 1980. I was born in 94. I'm 23 years old. This movie's been on my radar for at least 10 years. I got around to watching it for the first time tonight, and I was really nervous going in that I was gonna be zoning out and not paying attention to specific details in scenes and was gonna miss a lot. Turns out I was thoroughly invested in this movie, and I am really happy that I was, and I'm really happy that I can now call it my favorite horror movie of all time. I haven't seen Jack Nicholson in a whole lot, mostly Anger Management, the original Batman, The Departed. Those are probably the only three movies I've seen Jack Nicholson in. And now I can add The Shining to that list. Jack Nicholson not only gives probably the best performance that I've seen throughout those four movies, he probably gives the best performance of his career. I haven't seen anything else, like I said, but I'm assuming this is probably the best performance of his career. This is also one of my favorite all-time performances ever from any actor. Jack Nicholson unhinged in this movie. The two scenes that really stuck out to me were obviously the scene where he breaks down the door with the axe and he's like, "Here's Johnny!" And then the other scene where he's chasing his wife up the stairs and he's like, "Wendy, darling, I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. Just gonna bash them the fuck in." Performance throughout the movie is already awesome. But those were the two scenes that really stuck out for me. Shelley Duvall gets a little too much hate in this movie. She plays his wife. Apparently Stanley Kubrick was really mean to her on set, and I think it was just as a way to express like her emotion of fear on camera, so that he could capture the realism of his wife's fear. So if whatever that was, whatever Stanley Kubrick's tactic was, it worked. It was really an old school movie from the editing standpoint. I mean, you have a lot of long tracking shots and a lot of transitions in between scenes that involve a lot of cross-dissolves. You don't see cross-dissolving transitions in movies anymore, and you don't see a lot of tracking shots. There are tracking shots in movies quite a bit now. I think it's starting to become a thing again, where it's made to look like one take when it's really not one take, but these tracking shots were really well done. This movie is a movie that makes you think. It's got some really disturbing imagery, for instance, the blood coming out of the elevator. What the hell does that even mean? The final shot of the movie, which I will not spoil in case you have not seen The Shining, has so many different interpretations. I interpreted it one way, and then after I watched it, I went online, and it seemed like most people interpreted it the same way I did. But I will not share with you how I interpreted that scene. In case you have not seen The Shining, figure it out for yourself. This movie can really rattle you, not just from how disturbing the violence is, but because it doesn't really give you answers, and I really love that about this movie. This is a movie that you have to pay extreme attention to the dialogue, because there's something said in the middle of this movie that kind of relates to that final shot and kind of the overall meaning of the movie. And if you miss it, you'll probably be like, well, what the hell? Like, what the hell is this movie about? Some disturbing ass imagery, though. The two twins in the hallway, you will never look at hallways again the same way after watching this movie. Holy shit, I went into my living room in my apartment to go get my phone charger, the light was off. All I could think about was the two twins in this movie right behind me, ready to get me to come play with them. That's freaky. My only issue with The Shining is this. I really feel like they're not really building up to Jack's insanity. Like, how he becomes insane is just, he starts writing, all of a sudden, he's insane. Because they flash forward a bunch of different days in this movie. And across a couple time periods. Like, I get it. Like, he's writing every day for a month, so he's probably going to go insane. But I just feel like the movie kind of rushed that aspect a little bit, and I didn't really understand how he became so insane, even though it was over a long period of time. We only saw glimpses of a couple of days, if that makes any sense. I mean, I'm not asking for the movie to be like a 4-hour epic. It's 2.5 already. But I mean, it was just all of it. Like, I was just watching it, and all of a sudden, I was just like, he's insane. Like, all of a sudden, like they jumped forward in time so much that I feel like it just didn't build up to him becoming insane. I am so happy I watched The Shining. This is going to be a staple every Halloween now. This turned into my favorite horror movie of all time. Such a well-filmed movie. A lot of tracking shots. Lots of transitions. Old school transitions that you don't see in movies nowadays. Really great performance from Jack Nicholson and the rest of the cast. Disturbing imagery. Just things in this movie. Aspects that really make you think long and hard about it. And creep you the shit out. We'll say that this movie has a lot of colors to it. It's a very colorful movie. This is one of my favorite films of all time. Definitely in my top 10, maybe my top 5. Don't know. Still mulling that over in my mind. Guys, if you've seen The Shining, what did you think about The Shining, and what is your interpretation on the end, the final image of this movie? I want some feedback. Drop me a comment in the comment section below, and you can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, you're on YouTube, subscribe at the end of this video, and check out some past reviews I have done. You guys are the best. I cannot wait to bring you some more reviews of horror movies. And I will be playing The Evil Within 2, so hopefully that will be done by Halloween, and I can have a review of that game out for you. I plan on reviewing The Exorcist. That's a definite review. I can tell you that. I've never seen the original Exorcist. American Werewolf in London and a couple others I mentioned in my last video are a little up in the air. It just depends on time. But you guys are awesome. I will see you next time.